Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. And today we are reviewing Only Murders in the Building, Season 2, Episode 6, entitled Performance Review. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Oh, we're getting into the second half of the season of Only Murders in the Building. And you know what? I feel like we're no closer to finding out who the bad guy is. But that's okay, because we're having lots of fun getting there. And this episode called Performance Review, uh, it's kind of different than the other ones because this time I guess like the previous episode, the start, or at least the narrative, uh, you know the narrative that starts off with someone else voicing over, not just one of our main three, main characters, and it's the assistant to, Tina Fey's, Tina Fey plays Cinda Canning, who is, I guess, a murder podcast person that's doing a rival podcast to Only Murders in the Building. It's sort of trying to make it seem like the trio are actually, responsible for the murder of Bunny Folgers. So, what we get to hear from the much put upon assistant to that lady named Poppy, and she more or less, starts everything off, and we see Mabel and Oliver and Charles, who are each sort of dealing with their own little thing that doesn't have anything to do with the murder. Charles, of course, he's having this little relationship with the killer in the previous season. Oliver's trying to find out, is he actually not the father of his son, and of course Mabel's got her relationship going with the British art director. All of that good stuff's going on, and plus they're trying to find out, like, oh, who the hell is this killer? Because Cinda puts them on the spot because she's got some sort of inside dirt about a guy that says that Mabel actually attacked him years before. And if it's all about this in a way. Part of this show has been about sort of the way people get all involved in murder podcasts, but also kind of the underbelly of people who do this for a living and how maybe unscrupulousness could be at play. And of course, Cinda, she is very unscrupulous in trying to paint Mabel as some kind of killer. But in the process, Charles and Mabel and Oliver, they found that matchbook, so they want to, try to catch the person. They want to catch a person that planted that there, that's running around the apartment. And then they find out that the police officer that they were, sort of in good with, was not the person they'd been in contact with by text, but in fact could be the killer. And so it sets up this really hilarious bit where they, do a glitter bomb to sort of, expose that person. But in the process, they also sort of have a heart-to-heart about how kind of screwed up it is that Charles is having this little affair with someone who killed Mabel's friend. And really, I thought there would be more Oliver in this, but this is really a more Mabel focused. When you find out about the screwed up way her girlfriend seems to be exploiting her story and her situation as quote art, but also how she doesn't take Charles having this relationship well, and there's just that she seems to be a bit under the gun. And we also see that somehow maybe the killer really is stalking, or for some reason is hanging around and trying to, maybe if not frame, but at least bring them into the murder itself, or, somehow some kind of culpability. And also at the same time, maybe, as we say at the end of the episode, the crazy ending of the episode, that indeed maybe they're trying to get this narrative that Mabel is unstable and possibly the killer. it's all very interesting. I'll only say this, that after this really stellar episode of the previous week, this was a bit of a letdown. And not that it was bad. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's very funny in ways. I loved the fact that there was, we had the cameos by Jane Lynch coming back in from the previous season as the stunt double for Charles, and how cool and fun she was, especially when she was talking to Jan. Michael Rappaport, he's in here as the detective that's doing the murder investigation, and he's always fun to see. And then of course Tina Fey is delightfully, you know, terrible, especially to her assistant. I loved all of that. It was very. I wish there was a little more movement on certain other things, but I understand this was Mabel focused, and I also felt this was just a bit short. But what we did get was quite nice, especially that little conversation they had in the car about Jan, and seeing Mabel sort of how she's very unbalanced because of all the things that are going on, especially what's going on with the crazy, weird, like I don't even want to call it an art installation or whatever that her girlfriend is possibly putting on. It's nutty, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, but again, a little bit of a letdown from last episode, but this one's still quite good, and I enjoyed it. And I think if you are following this show, this is probably again up your alley. And the way this is playing out, it really does feel like it's the start of maybe it's the second half of the show, but maybe the start of, or the ending of the second act, start of the third act, where we're really going to start getting to the bad guy. And I have to be honest, I still don't know who the heck did it. They seem to be wanting to point to it that it's a guy, but honestly, the killer, which we probably saw in this episode, doesn't seem like it's definitely a guy. It could very well could be a girl because how bundled up they are. So I don't know. I'm no Columbo, so I haven't figured it out. But maybe you guys have figured it out. And what did you guys think about this episode? And what did you think about what I had to say about it? Get down to the comment section and let me know what you're thinking. Of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. Give me your guesses or hints or anything like that. I'd love to talk to you about it. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to see the next episode and see where Only Murders in the Building is headed. Until then, I've been Mo Le Poupée, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.